Welcome to the last installment of PlanetaG, Estamos, Usando, where we talk about the reasons why Latinx people need to vote this election.
And today we're talking about the number one reason Latinx folks need to vote this election. Remember, many people have already voted by mail, and so you can definitely do that, or you can vote early, or you can vote on November 3rd.
There are 32 million eligible Latinx voters. We have the power to put someone in the White House who actually plans on tackling the climate crisis. And most importantly, somebody who will listen to the pressure and demands of our movements.
So we've covered many reasons why you, your mommy, your papi, your abuela, your amigues, etc. should vote this election, including ensuring that marginalized communities are not living in toxic areas with pollution, the urgency of the climate crisis, and climate migration. If you haven't seen the previous reasons yet, check out the videos below. But I bet you're wondering what the number one reason is.
The suspense is killing me. To tell us the last reason why, we have Mónica Ramírez. She's an activist, an author, and a civil rights attorney. What can she do? Her latest project is with Se Puede, a campaign to help Latinas leverage their power in their lives, their families, their communities, and in the voting booth. Hi, Mónica. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. So good to be here.
Thanks for being here.
Mónica, thank you so much for joining us. Let's get right into it.
Do it.
We want to know more about you. So you and I met while I was doing farm worker organizing, but can you just tell us a little bit more about how you got started, where you're from, all that good stuff?
Definitely. So, I'm from a small town called Fremont, Ohio, and I was born and raised here. It's where I currently live. And my family arrived in Ohio because I come from a farm worker family. And my family, both my mom's side and my dad's side, used to travel the migrant stream and eventually settled out here. So that is why I'm in Ohio. People always think it's so strange. People don't even realize that there are Latinx people in Ohio. We are here. We're very much part of the community. And so it's really that the upbringing with, that my parents gave us, understanding about the farm worker community and some of the conditions that farm workers face, that really was the impetus for the work that I've done throughout my career. And really since I was a teen. I've been an activist since I was a teen. And so, as was mentioned, I've founded a number of different initiatives, and really the work that we do, the work that I've done over now more than 2 decades, has been about lifting up our community, amplifying our voices, making sure that the right stories are told about our community, not just the truths about our community, but stories are being told in an authentic way. So if we aren't organizing for ourselves and fighting for ourselves and fighting for our communities and ensuring that our stories are being told correctly and that we're the ones who are making the decisions about our lives, I think we actually won't be best positioned to really make change for our community. So at the heart of it, that's what my work has been about.
That's really incredible. So I would love to talk about your latest project, the Se Puede campaign. So what is it about? How did you get involved? Tell us a little bit more.
Sure. So Se Puede is a lifestyles platform that was co-founded by me and 9 other Latina leaders, including some folks that I'm sure many of you know, Eva Longoria, America Ferreira, Carmen Perez, who's one of the co-leaders of the Women's March. And so there were a group of us who really throughout our careers have been focusing on building power in our communities in different ways. Our community, and specifically Latinas, are often an afterthought when it comes to voting, right? Like people think about us, 2 days before the election, they're like, oh, we should get some people to talk about this, and of course, not just 2 days before, but, there are many times in which Latinas are not thought of as a voting bloc in our country. And so that was really where the idea started to form. Like, what would it look like if we were to create something for ourselves? And so in various conversations that we were having then, over the last couple of years, the decision was made that we don't need someone else to build it. We can build it for ourselves. And really what we're building and what we have built is about lifting up our community and lifting up Latinas specifically as whole, powerful people. And for us, being whole, powerful people includes building our civic muscle. So part of the work that we're doing is around civic engagement, from informing people about what to do, how to register to vote, where to register to vote, some of the limitations people need to be mindful of, and then, encouraging people to not only vote themselves, but to rally their family members and community members. So we have that's really happening in a major way right now. It's really important for people to also understand that the community that we're building is one that reflects all Latinas. We have very different backgrounds, and I'm sure you've talked about it in your series, but people talk about the Latinx community as if we're like one kind of person, and we're 60 million people strong. We come from all different backgrounds. We come in all different shades. Our stories are very different, and so that's another thing that through our initiative, we're trying to lift up all Latinas in the way that we show up in the world, because it takes all of us to be the powerful group that we are. And we want to make sure that we're not just lifting up, the stereotypical image of who people think we should be.
Yes, I love it. Okay, so as you know, we've been counting down the 10 reasons why Latinx voters need to vote this election.
Yes.
And this is the number one reason. So I'm going to announce it. Okay, drum roll, please. We need to vote this election because we need to stand up for our community. So how does voting, among many other things like organizing and being civically engaged, help the Latinx community to thrive?
Well, voting is our voice in this country. And, we can certainly use our voices in many ways. We can rally, we can march, we do all of it. But voting actually is what will make the difference between who is leading us, right? Who gets to make the decisions. So often we've seen historically, because the Latinx community has been underrepresented in politics, right? We're underrepresented in Congress, we're underrepresented at every level of government. And what that means is that not only are we not at the table when decisions are being made about our lives, the people who are making decisions about our lives don't understand our context. They aren't necessarily in tune with what our priorities are. They don't know what we believe the solutions are to our issues. And so voting gives us the opportunity to have a direct hand in choosing who is going to be our representative and how are they going to how are we going to ensure that the people who are our representatives care about our issues and are actually doing the things that we think need to happen for our community and for our lives? So voting is number one, should be number one. Everyone should think of it as number one because it really is what makes a difference.
So you're doing electoral work, not just with Se Puede, but with some of your other initiatives as well. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. So through Justice for Migrant Women, which is our organization that focuses on the rights of migrant women workers, we're trying to change the way that people think about rural America. People think of rural America as white and male, and we know that there are many people of color who live in rural America, including migrant women. So through our Justice for Migrant Women project, we are trying to encourage rural women to vote and to own their power. And related to that, we've created a Rural Women's Coalition. In addition to that, we have an initiative that we co-created with Return to the Heart Foundation and We Stand United, which is called Sisters Rising. And Sisters Rising is focused on building power with Native and Indigenous women. And that's a really important project because Native and Indigenous women are often disenfranchised when it comes to our voting system. So we're trying to make sure that Native and Indigenous women across our country have the tools that they need to be able to show up and be engaged civically. And then the last project that we have been working on, I know there's so many projects, but we've been working really hard through the Latinx House, which is a project that I created with two filmmakers, Olga Segura and Alex Martinez Kondraki. That is focused on telling our stories authentically, and part of telling our story also relates to telling our story around how we are powerful voters in this nation. So through all of those initiatives, we're trying to get the right information out to folks about how to vote, where to vote, and those sorts of things. And, and we also want people to understand that we're not just focused on this election. Keeping our democracy strong and healthy is an ongoing process. And so it's important for people to continue to be engaged even after this election.
Absolutely. And we'll make sure to include all those links below so everybody can go check them out. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mónica.
No problem.
As you know, the show is kind of about looking at environmentalism from a Latinx lens. What's your experience with sort of the environmental movement in the Latinx community?
It's really important for people to understand that the Latinx community is not a one-issue community. We don't only think about, talk about, or fight for issues related to immigration. And, issues related to climate and to the environment are issues that our community very much cares about. I think, unfortunately, because people put the Latinx community in a particular box, people often forget that. But I think it's really important that people understand that our community is very close to Mother Earth. And we also in our community have many among us who are from Indigenous communities. And it's really important for those of us who are from Indigenous communities to ensure that we are uplifting the earth and that we're doing all that we can to protect our planet overall. So I think that the Latinx community doesn't get enough credit for its work on environmental issues, as well as its deep commitment to making sure that we are protecting this planet.
We absolutely agree. That's exactly why we started PlanetaG, to make sure that those voices are being highlighted and that your mommy, your abuela, and all that she's taught you, all that stuff doesn't go in vain. It's so ingrained in our culture, and we know it's here. We're present. We want to take care of our Madre Tierra, and we'll continue doing that. And thank you so much for shedding light on that as well.
No, thank you. Thank you for all of your incredible work.
Did you make a plan to vote yet? Tell us your plan below. And remember, vote by mail is safe and secure. So vote early in whatever way feels safe to you. And please visit www.votefortheclimate.com/GOTV. Check in on your family members. See if they need any help. Maybe they need help filling out a form, or maybe they need a ride to the polling station. Call them up and see if they need you.
If you need more information, please visit Greenpeace's Vote for Climate dashboard. There you can find tools ranging from where you can find your nearest polling place, more information about vote by mail, and how to sign up to be a Greenpeace volunteer.
And as always, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Greenpeace USA, and don't forget to hit that bell so you can get notified every time we upload a new PlanetaG episode. And please follow us on Instagram at Greenpeace USA.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to vote.
Vote, vote, vote.
Cosito.
Ciao.